Abdullahi Boru Halakhe is an African security and policy analyst who joins us from the American capital. Abdullahi, thank you so much for your time. As far as your analysis before this happened, the fall of Goma, are the rebels stronger than you thought, or is the Congolese army weaker than you thought?
I was in Goma in January of last year. None of this comes to me as a surprise, because at that time they were just a few kilometers from the town of Sake, which was between 20 to 30 kilometers from Goma. So nothing of this is surprise. But the rate at which the military is folding is pretty surprising. If now Goma has fallen, they are heading to Bukavu. And if we take the rebels at their word, they're heading to Kinshasa, we are pretty much back to where we were in 2006 when they overran and overthrew the government.
They're accusing Felix Tshisekedi of bringing foreign fighters into the DRC and destabilizing the country. Is any of their criticism true, or is it really about mineral resources?
Mineral resources is always at the background. It's not just actors that are foreigners. It is also regional actors, including Uganda and Rwanda. And the Democratic Republic of Congo took Uganda to the International Court, and they got a ruling that Uganda has not implemented to date. So I think that is not the two critical factors that the Rwandese government are advancing. One is the genocidaire government that the Hutu government that was overthrown in 1994, a huge chunk of them went to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda has still retained that government, exercises an existential threat to Rwanda. The second is the Rwandese Congolese, the Congolese in that part of the country, who the Rwandese authorities say are being discriminated because they have got Rwandese heritage. Those two things, but none of them are the reasons why they should invade a country. If that argument is advanced, there will be so many conflicts in the region.
Why do you think some of the richest countries in the world, the United Kingdom, France, the US, why are they so reluctant to impose sanctions on Rwanda? Do they have some kind of agreement with the Rwandan government that's making them reluctant to do so?
I think if we step back in 2012, this same group M23 took over Goma, and the international community responded in a fairly coordinated fashion. That meant sanctions were put on the table. But what we have since then is, in the United States right now, we have a transition that is its priorities are not necessarily Africa. Its priorities are based elsewhere. As a result, it hasn't done what it should do. In fairness, the UK government, the foreign secretary, they've put sanctions on the table. Rwanda receives a third of its budgetary support from foreign donors, and if that is put on the table, Rwanda will take notice. However, I think the Rwandese government has done a very good job in projecting itself as a vanguard for most of these countries. Rwandese governments have deployed some of their militaries for peacekeeping operations in the continent, not least in Mozambique right now. So Western countries are a little bit jittery to express it very confidently, especially in public. But that should not be the reason, because Congolese women and children deserve better. They shouldn't be made to, the photos and videos that your reporters are showing us. I was there. I met women who have been raped multiple times. And they say to me, Abdullahi, these are our children's age, the people who are raping us. They're leaving some parts of the country, coming into Goma, and on the way to Goma, they are being raped. We already have significant humanitarian crisis, not just in Goma, across the country. This Goma being taken over by M23 and potentially Bukavu and potentially Kinshasa will really cause a severe humanitarian crisis on top of severe humanitarian crisis. The French, who are the UN who are the UN Security Council pen holders, need to move with speed. Otherwise, this will be on their hands as well.
Abdullahi, thank you so much for the analysis. Really appreciate it.